Welcome to our English Maritime course, week 36, okay, for our day 1. So we are now moving forward to our topic. So for today, it's all about advanced listening skills in the maritime industry. Okay. So enhancing the safety, collaborations, and leaderships in the high seas. These are requires a holistic approach involving to the effective leadership training. So they should be fostering a strong safety culture with the a blame no mentality. That na. So again, by implementing the safety management system and regular trainings, ensuring a clear and empathetic communication, and adhering to the international regulations. So prioritizing the human behavior, adapting to the technological changes through the collaboration and shared lessons, and empowering every crew members contribute to a safer and more efficient maritime environment. I have here some key skills that we need um, to point out. So, for example, I have here the active listening. So, this involves giving your full attention to the speaker, showing engagement through nonverbal cues like the eye contact and nodding, and responding thoroughly to their messages. And another one is the empathetic listening, meaning these skills allows you to understand and relate to the speaker's perspective. So this is very crucial for building the strong relationships and fostering a collaboration environment on board. Next that we have is the technical listening. So this one, it involves specialized listening to the process and understand the technical information. It including the maritime specific jargons of what we discussed last time to ensure the accuracy and avoid the misunderstanding during the operations. So I have here some application or how do we apply the listening skills in the maritime industry. So first is under the safety. So during the safety, clear communication is the paramount for the safety of the crew. Of course, as well at the ship and the environment. So the advanced listening, it ensures that the crucial instruction and safety protocols are understood without misinterpretation or misunderstanding. Next is the operational efficiency. So, meaning by truly listening, crew members can better understand each other's input, leading to more efficient collaboration during the complex operations. Another one is the conflict resolution. So, this one it's about the empathetic listening that helps in understanding the different perspective, which is very important for resolving the conflicts and maintaining a harmonious working environment on board. Next is the trust and respect. So when you are actively listening, you can show a respect for others' opinions and experiences. This one, it will build trust and strengthen the relationships among the other crew or the other officers. So this time, we're going to enhancing the safety, collaboration, and the leadership on the high seas. So as I said earlier, this one is about prioritizing the human behavior, adapting to technological changes through the collaboration and shared lessons. So by this, we will discuss this by, or we have this to, need to categorize. And the first one, it's about the leadership development. So under the leadership development is the visible commitment. So this is the industry leaders must show a genuine, continuous commitment to a safety that overrides the profit goals and permits the entire organizations. Next is the skill-based training. So this is to develop the leadership skills that include the self-awareness, assertiveness, emotional intelligence, delegation, and giving or receiving the feedback to equip the officers for high-pressure situations. Another one is the empathy and support. So meaning that the leaders should foster a supportive environment. So this will be the addressing the crew members' feelings and creating a caring work environment. Next, the another one is by leading by example. So leaders should integrate their qualities, characteristics, and techniques into actionable behaviors. So by this, they will be demonstrating an effective leaderships. So next category is about the fostering the safety culture. So under this is the prioritize your people. So place human behavior at the core of the safety efforts. By this, you're going to understand or understanding the human factors to better manage new technologies and prevent the accidents. Another one is the shared responsibility. So this one, you're going to make a continuous improvement by sharing the responsibility among all the seafarers and staff. So you're going to encourage an innovation and best practices. So next is what we call the no blame culture. So you're going to implement a no blame culture where the seafarers can report incidents, near misses, and deficiencies without fear. So by this, you're going to allowing for a continuous improvement. So still under the fostering the safety culture is what we call the clear expectations. So by this, we're going to establish the clarity of the roles to ensure that every crew members understand their contributions and how they fit into the larger goal. So next, the other category is about the implementing the robust system and training. So by this, we need to have a safety management system. So you're going to institute a strong onboard safety management system and accident prevention program to provide a framework for safety. So next is about the continuous training. So this one, we're going to provide the regular comprehensive training for all seafarers, covering the basic safety procedures, PPE use, handling the dangerous goods, and the emergency response. So next is about the auditing. So this one, you're going to conduct a continuous improvement through regular auditing of the safety management system to correct the deficiencies in a timely manner. Still under the implementing the system and the training is what we call the international standards. So this one they're going to adhere to the international regulations as developing and following them is a recognized way to improve the maritime safety globally. So the last category that we have here, um, still this is to enhancing the safety and collaboration leadership on the high sea, is about the enhancing the collaboration and communication. So it's very important to have, or they will implement the clear communication. So by ensuring a clear and consistent communication, active listening, and honest communication to prevent the misunderstandings that can lead to accident. So it's very important always in every situations or every scenarios that you have to implement a clear communication and make sure that they understand the instruction. It's also important to always have a teamwork. So encourage the interdependence and cooperations among the crew members. So by this, you're going to fostering a sense of shared purpose and mutual support. So next is about the empowerment. So empower the crew members, recognizing that everyone's importance and creating an environment where everyone feels safe to speak up. So leadership training ensures that industry leader skills and knowledge are up to date of a high standard. So because having a strong leaders who can enhance the crew efficiency is very essential in the operations of the modern global trade. So despite the maritime industry's extensive technological advancements, it remains dependent on the crew that operates its vessel. So the importance of the crew members means safeguarding and seafarer supports remain indispensable. So I have here also some core components of the maritime leadership training. So first is this is about the emotional intelligence. So leaders who are self-aware and understand the impact of their personality and behaviors on others are better at engaging with their teams. Another reason is for the decision making skills. So by simulating the real world scenarios, our training help leaders to make a quick decision in high pressure situations. And next is about the communications. So, by teaching a clear, concise, and respective communication practices, our leadership training helps to build a structure and communicative ethos. Still, under the core components of the maritime leadership training is the conflict resolutions. So, meaning that our leadership training, they are equips participants with the strategies to resolve the dispute amicably and maintain the harmony on board. Other one is the crisis management. So our bespoke facilities, they will simulate the real world scenarios to prepare the leaders to handle the emergency such as the fires, equipment failures, and other medical issues or other emergency situations. So lastly is the cultural sensitivity. So educating the leaders on the cultural differences to enhance their understanding and cooperations in the multicultural team environments. So, by prioritizing the leadership training, the maritime industry can navigate the challenges of today and chart a course for a more secure tomorrow. So, it's no secret that people are the drivers of the maritime operations, and supporting crew continues to be as a significant as ever. So this time, so how does this active listening impact a vessel's operation and safety? So why this skills is your compass, or why this skill is very important as well. So active listening in the maritime industry are crucial for enhancing both operational efficiencies and the safety by fostering a clear, shared understanding of instructions and situations. So thereby, by preventing the miscommunications that often leads to accidents. So this process, it allows for a proper task coordination, timely response to hazards, and the development of a stronger safety culture, ensuring that the critical information is not lost and that all crew members are aligned for a successful and safe operation. Okay? So I have here, first is the reason is the impact of a safety. Okay? Impact on safety. So why? This is to prevent the accident. Because if you have a poor communication that leading the cost of maritime incidents or with the human error, they often stemming for a from a miscommunication. So contributing to a significant percentage of accidents. So active listening, it helps prevent these errors by ensuring that the messages are accurately received. Okay? Accurately received and understood. So reducing the confusion and the potential danger. Another one is the effective emergency response. So meaning that to have a clear, active communication and vital for the safety during the emergencies, allowing the crew to coordinate the actions, supports quickly, and implement the safety protocol without delay. So next is the shared situational awareness. So by actively listening, crew members can build a comprehensive understanding of the situations. So ensuring that everyone is aware of the expectations and the potential hazards, which is the critical for the safety. Okay. So next, the another reason this time is the impact on operations. So by this, you need to increase efficiency. So, active listening streamlines the operations by promoting the efficient task assignment and coordinations among the crew. So, by this, you're going to, or they have to minimizing the delays and optimizing the vessel's performance. Another reason is the improved collaborations. So effective communications, it can facilitate by active listening. So this time, by this, you're going to enable a better collaborations, ensuring that the right personnel work together successfully to complete the assigned task. And lastly is to reduce the downtime. So meaning that the clear communications about potential issues such as the equipment problems, it allows for prompt corrective action. So preventing the escalations and reducing the operational downtime. So next is how to implement active listening in the maritime settings. So first, of course, you need to ask for a clarification. So meaning that you don't need to hesitate to ask for any explanations if a message is unclear to avoid confusion and ensure understanding. So, in order to get a complete idea of what the speaker is trying to say, it requires the listener not only to hear all that is being said, but to be aware of nonverbal cues such as the tone of the voice and body language, as well as the techniques to check for the understanding. Because the goal of the active listening is to enable the listeners to fully comprehend and remember what was said and to respond so that the speaker knows how he or she was heard correctly. Okay? Another one is the confirm the understanding. So as I said earlier, or one of my explanation, these techniques like the paraphrasing to ensure the speaker knows how they've been heard correctly and their messages was understood intendedly. So like for example, you have a task assignment. So the crew management allows for the streamline task assignment, ensuring that the right personnel with the necessary skills are assigned to specific duties. So the effective communication facilitates collaboration among the crew members for a successful task completion. So next is you need to observe the nonverbal cues. So pay attention to the speaker's tone of voice and body language. So a scene can provide the additional context and help the fully fully comprehend the message. These techniques, just as I said earlier, these techniques is to check for your understanding because the goal of the active listening is to enable that the listener was fully comprehend or fully understand what was said. Next is use the standardized communication. So employ universal phrases and terminology like those found in the SMCP or the Standard Marine Communication Phrases. This is to ensure that the clarity and reduce the ambiguity when communicating with the other vessels or the shore stations. Okay, so I have here some key points to remember regarding the how this active listening impact the vessel's operations. So first is the preventing the communications. So avoiding some errors during the watch handovers, critical instructions, and emergency procedures. We also have some troubleshooting and problem solving. Next is the troubleshooting and problem solving. So meaning by accurately diagnosing equipment issue by listening to the report of the person who experienced the problem. Okay? And building the trust and morale. So making crew members feel heard and valued, which is very also important in demanding the environment. And lastly is the effective leadership. So the captain or the officer who listen well gains deeper insights and can make a better informed decisions. So this one, you it can make you a better leader or a better human being when you knows how to listen to someone. Okay. Okay. So, but of course, as we all know, as you listen, as you're trying to become a leaders or you're being active listening, there are also some barriers when you are listening or some conflicts. Okay, that's why it says here it's not always easy. Let's identify these challenges. Okay, so what are those challenges when you are listening? So again, so these barriers to listening at the sea, this includes the harsh and noisy environment or the marine environment. So communications may be challenges with the different accent and language. And there's also some internal distractions like the daydreaming or preoccupations. So all of which can be compound by the isolation and the stress of the maritime life. So affecting a mariner's or the seafarer's ability to focus, understand, and retain the information accurately. So first we have here what we call the environmental and physical barriers. Okay. Let's, so environmental and physical barriers. So we have here first what we call the noise. So this one, it is the this is the constant and significant noise of an engine, wind, and waves that creates a challenging environment for a clear communications. So distractions that disrupt the listener's attentions are one of the major barriers to effective listening. So another one is what we call the vibrations. So the vibration or the ship's vibration can also be distracting. So this making it harder to concentrate on these spoken messages. Next is the limited space. So confined areas on a vessel can lead to a feeling of being overwhelmed and contribute to the communication difficulties. Okay. So next one is we have here what we call the communication and information barriers. So by this, we have here the language and the accent. So different linguistic backgrounds and accents among the crew members can lead to misinterpretations. So by this, these barriers derive from the differences of the variety of categories such as the religion, the language, the traditions, and also the power distance. Okay? So the accents can be also the barriers to listening. Since they interfere with the ability to understand the meaning of the words that are pronounced differently. So the problem of the different accent, it arises not only between the cultures but also within the culture. Like for example, the country like the India, where they are is enormous cultural diversity. The accent may be differ between even between the religion or the region states. So generally, Orientals regard the listening and the silence as the almost a virtue. Okay. Another one is the information overload. So this one, that too much information or complex instruction can be overwhelmed to a listeners, making it different to process and retain the details. Another one is the poor acoustics. So this is the design of the ships that can create a poor acoustics or distorted sounds and making it harder to hear. So this time we have what we call the internal and attitudinal barriers. So this one it's about the distractions. So internal thoughts, preoccupations with the other tasks, or daydreaming can prevent a listener from giving a full attention to the speakers. So the preoccupational, which personal or work-related problems can make it difficult to focus on one's attentions completely on what the speaker is trying to say. So even what being said is or another common at- attitudinal barriers is what we call the egocentrism, or the belief that you are more knowledgeable when the speaker and other have nothing new to have to learn from these ideas. So people with these kinds of close-minded attitude may very poor listeners. So another reason is the lack of focus. So the general lack of concentrations due to fatigue or stress from the maritime environment can impair the listening ability. So this distraction that can disrupt a listener's attention are one of the major barriers of the effective listening. Next one is what we call the prejudice and assumptions. This is the preconceived notions about the speaker or the topic that can lead to a biased listening or a close-minded approach. So, the successful of a communication depend on the both both the sender and the receiver. So as we have seen in an earlier, it is wrong to assume that communication is the sole responsibility of the sender or the speaker and that listeners have no role to play, because such as an assumption can be a big barrier to a listening. Like for example, the brilliant speech or the presentation, however well delivered, this is a wasted if the receiver is not listening in the other end, because the listeners have as such responsibility as a speaker to make a communication successful. So, by paying attention and seeking the clarification of by giving some feedback. So another wrong assumption is to think that listening is a passive activity. So in which is the listener is merely the thoughts of the speaker. So on the contrary, the real listening or active listening is hard work. It requires the speaking sometimes to the asking questions. Agreed or disagreed with the speaker. So giving feedback is very important. Next is about the stress and fatigue. So this is the demanding of the nature of maritime work that can lead to increase the stress and fatigue, which negatively impact the cognitive functions including the listening. So here, this also includes some like what we call the bad listening habits. So most people are very average listeners who have developed the poor listening habits that are hard to set and that act as a barrier to listening. Like for example, if some people have habits of faking attention or trying to look like a listeners, okay, in order to impress the speakers and other and to assure him that they can paying attention, others may be tend to listen to each and every fact, and as a result they will miss out what is the main point. Okay. So again, I have here some key barriers. These are just some of the summary of these barriers when you will be in active listening. So first that we have here is what we call the noise environment. So this one did engage the noise, radio chatter, and weather conditions that can be constant on the distractions. Another one is the accent in the jargons. So this one is the maritime professionals come from all over the world. So with the diverse accent and specific technical terminologies. So again, next is the fatigue. So this is the long shifts or irregular sleep patterns that impair and concentrations and listening ability. And lastly is the confirmation bias. So meaning that the hearing what you expect to hear rather than what is actually being said. Okay? So that will be all for today. So it's all about active listening. Okay, so I hope you will learn something for today and you really listen since our topics about advanced listening skills, especially in the maritime industry. So we will be continue discussing this in our next day. Okay, so again, this is your instructor Elaine, and thank you for today's listening.